Here are 10 steps that will ensure you get a great tomato harvest. Following these simple steps will make your tomato plants lush and productive for the entire season. Number 1, choose the right tomato variety. Different tomato varieties have varying growth habits, disease resistance, and fruit characteristics. Consider factors like your specific climate, available garden space, and desired taste and size of the tomatoes. Determinate varieties tend to grow in a more compact manner and produce fruit over a shorter period, while indeterminate varieties continue to grow and produce fruit throughout the season, even to your first frost. Number 2, prepare the soil. Tomatoes prefer well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. Before planting, loosen the soil using a garden fork, shovel, or tiller. Incorporate compost, well-rotted manure, or other organic matter to improve the soil's fertility, structure, and moisture retention capacity. Number 3, start seeds indoors. Tomatoes almost always need to be started indoors. If you're not comfortable starting your own plants yet, there are many big box stores, feed and farm stores that always provide seedlings in the spring. Planting seedlings gives you a head start, especially in regions with shorter growing seasons. If planting indoors, sow the seeds in seed starting trays or small pots filled with a sterile seed starting mix. Keep the soil consistently moist and provide adequate light, either by placing the trays in a sunny location or by using fluorescent or LED grow lights. A windowsill is not enough light. They must have adequate light to grow into healthy plants. I strongly suggest you use LED type grow lights. Number 4, transplant seedlings. Once the seedlings have developed a few sets of true leaves and the danger of frost is over in your area, they are ready for transplanting. Harden them off by gradually exposing them to outdoor conditions, starting with a few hours in a sheltered spot and gradually increasing the time and exposure to sunlight. When transplanting, dig a hole slightly larger than the root ball and gently place the seedling into the hole, ensuring the top set of leaves is above the soil surface. Fill in the hole and gently firm the soil around the plant. Water them in immediately. Tomatoes can be planted deep and will actually grow roots along any part of the stem that is in contact with the soil. Number 5, provide support. Most tomato plants benefit from support to prevent them from sprawling on the ground. Install stakes, cages, or trellises near each tomato plant at the time of planting or shortly after. As the plants grow, gently tie the stems to the support structure using soft plant ties or twine. I like to use a tape tying machine to tie my vegetables and consider it a necessary tool in my garden. Supporting your tomato plants helps keep them upright, allows for better airflow, and supports the weight of the fruit. My favorite way to support tomatoes are tomato cages, which I make out of concrete reinforcement wire and will last for decades. I'll link to a video below showing how to build what I call the world's best tomato cages. Number 6, water properly. Tomatoes require consistent moisture, especially during hot weather, to prevent blossom end rot and cracking. Water deeply and frequently to encourage the roots to grow deeper into the soil. Aim for at least 1 to 2 inches of water per week, either from rainfall or from supplemental irrigation. It's best to water at the base of the plant rather than overhead to reduce the risk of fungal diseases. Mulching around the plants can help retain soil moisture and reduce weed growth. Number 7, fertilize appropriately. Prior to planting, incorporate a balanced organic fertilizer into the soil to provide essential nutrients. Once the plants start producing fruit, you can side dress them with compost or apply a tomato-specific fertilizer according to the package instructions. Avoid excessive nitrogen fertilization, as it can lead to lush foliage growth at the expense of fruit production. I like to use a fertilizer that is high in the middle number, which is phosphorus, like this 10-20-10. Number 8, prune and remove suckers. Pruning tomato plants is optional but can be beneficial for certain varieties, especially indeterminate types. I like to remove any low-hanging branches that might touch the ground. Doing this seems to eliminate most fungal problems. I prune up to the first cluster of fruit. Another instance of pruning involves removing the suckers, which are the small shoots that emerge between the main stem and branches. By removing suckers, you can direct the plant's energy toward fruit production and improve airflow, reducing the risk of diseases. Use clean, sharp pruners to remove suckers when they're small and easy to pinch off. Number 9, monitor for pests and diseases. Regularly inspect your tomato plants for signs of pests and diseases. Common pests that affect tomatoes include aphids, tomato hornworms, whiteflies, and spider mites. If you notice any infestations, you can try methods such as hand-picking insects, spraying with organic insecticides or insecticidal soaps, or introducing beneficial insects like ladybugs or lacewings to control the pest population. When it comes to diseases, common issues include blight, powdery mildew, and early or late blight. Keep an eye out for yellowing or spotted leaves, wilting, or unusual growth patterns. If you spot any sign of disease, promptly take action by removing infected leaves or using organic fungicides. Proper sanitation, such as removing fallen leaves and plant debris, can also prevent disease spread. Number 10, harvest at the right time. Harvesting tomatoes at the right time ensures optimal flavor and texture. Tomatoes are typically ready for harvest when they have fully developed their color and are firm but slightly yielding to gentle pressure. But when I think my tomatoes are in danger of being pecked and eaten by birds, I will sometimes remove them as soon as I see any blush or when the tomato starts turning from green to yellow and let them fully ripen in the house. The time from planting to harvest varies depending on the variety, ranging from 60 to 90 days or longer. Different tomato varieties have different ripening stages, such as green, pink, yellow, or red. So consider the specific characteristics of the variety you're growing. Gently twist or cut the tomatoes from the vine, taking care not to damage the plant or nearby fruits. After harvesting, you can store ripe tomatoes at room temperature for a few days, but it's best to use them fresh for optimal taste. If you have a large harvest, consider preserving them by canning, making sauces, or freezing them for later use. Canning and freezing are a great way to enjoy your harvest for months to come. Remember that these steps provide a general guideline, but gardening is a learning process. Pay attention to your specific growing conditions, adjust watering and fertilization as needed, and monitor your plants regularly for any sign of stress or issues. With proper care and attention, you'll be rewarded with a bountiful harvest of delicious tomatoes. Happy gardening, and we're gone.